This is on the Kurosanji Reddit. It says, "Wake up, babe. New re-entry just dropped." Someone posted this on the virtual YouTubers recently and cross-posted it to Nijisanji, but their post was deleted. Shocking. What? Nijisanji subreddit deleting posts? I haven't heard of that before. I'm not sure if it's recent. It says it was published on February 29th, but edited today, but I haven't seen it before. Okay, so this is I skimmed a bit. It looks like another NDF. So when they say NDF, that's the Nijisanji Defense Force. Attempt to try and make some logical reaches under the guise of being reasonable and sticking to the primary sources. Okay, so essentially, long story short, this statement is about, it's the Nijisanji Defense Force trying to piece together everything that happened so that Nijisanji actually was the victim. Okay, so when you click on this, guys, error 404 not found. But you know who remembers, guys? Do you guys know who remembers? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's right. Also, the Wayback Machine remembers. The Wayback Machine. The not all heroes wear capes. Thanks, Wayback Machine. Thank you so much. So this is the document from the Nijisanji Defense Force and their version of the events in the Niji. So we're obviously not going to click through everything because look how large this document is. It is quite large. But we're just gonna quickly read through. So let's take a little. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. Okay. Let's. It says Nijisanji versus Selen. Analysis of their statements. Okay. Let's go. All right. Introduction. This is an analysis of the statements from both Nijisanji and Selen/Dokibird, referred to as the primary sources listed above. These statements were shared to the public between February 5th to February 14th and molded public perception during the ensuing drama. During the ensuing drama. No extraneous sources. What is extraneous? I've never heard of this word before. You guys are all using big words today.
Extraneous.
Thank you. Extraneous. No extraneous sources are used for the analysis outside of one specific case for legal exemplification. Statements from both parties are referenced and accounted for, and I'll try to fit their statements in a cohesive form. Why only rely on primary sources? I found that the more people rely on extraneous sources, the worse their understanding for the primary statements and their implication is. Extraneous sources so far have been mainly to justly fully distrusting what one side has to say, or worse, to justify believing that it is full of malicious intent. This drama has drawn the worst of many people, and a lot of it has to do with their disposition to rely on extraneous sources to reinforce their bias without giving proper thought on what is actually being stated. Okay, this is written as if it's like a university paper. Okay, let's go. This analysis will quote. Oh my God, what is this? Ipsis literis. Oh my God. Okay, these are big words. What is this? Ipsis literis is verbatim, word for word. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. This is tough. This is tough for my two brain cells to understand. Okay, so this analysis will quote ipsis literis from the primary statements often, even at risk of being pedantic or verbose. The reason is that I found people to be unable to remember quickly what originally was stated, which alters the meaning and implication of the statement. Some people are also unwilling to check the original statements again and expressed being very painful to read or watch again, a source that paints whoever's side they defend in a bad light. Since I cannot trust people to stick to original statements, I'll be quoting those at length myself so that people don't process something through a distorted version of a statement. The timeline was assembled in what seems to be the most likely order of the main events mentioned by both parties, and the primary sources indicate events that many people seem unaware of. The inferences from all this information are in the analysis section, where I explore the scenario that emerges from them while refraining to evaluate its likelihood yet. It is done in the likelihood of described scenario instead. The analysis section focuses on very different perspectives from those discussed by the public and may shock many of you. dun, 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 dun. Okay, this is all very interesting. The final remarks section is where I leave my thoughts and opinions after completing it all and explore a bit on the subjects that came across the making of this document. Man, I would kill for like a documentary of all this. This would be incredible. But I guess, you know what? That's not true. There's already enough pretty good, people have made a pretty good to run at it. So let's continue. Okay, timeline. December 24th, Selen submits her music video to her manager for approval, which we saw. I guess these are like I guess we can't click on them. Okay. December 25th, manager reports that the music video lacks proper authorization from relevant parties, ex-livers, and that she will need more time to get confirmation. December 26th, Selen publishes her music video before manager confirmed the missing authorizations. Manager privatizes the video and asks Selen to confirm with him or her before posting anything. Selen tweets 19 minutes later asking third parties to re-upload her music video. December ? Ooh. Okay. Some livers approach Selen to ask about her handling of the music video incident. December ? Selen makes her first attempt and is hospitalized. December ? Selen notifies everyone of her hospitalization. Selen's manager reaches out to her for her emergency contact. December or January? Okay. Both parties can't agree on how to proceed regarding the music video incident. Nijisanji's management team temporarily removes Selen's access to public accounts under the name Selen Tatsuki. December or January? Selen gets a lawyer who handles communication with Niji. All right, excellent. December or January? Everyone in Nijisanji knows of her hospitalization and the cause of it a few days before her discharge. Selen sends medical documents, therapy sessions, and doctor evaluations to prove her medical situation. Okay. January ? Second attempt weeks after the first. Oh, this is awful. This is so awful. It's so sad. It's so just reading it back over is just so sad. Okay. January ? Selen's lawyer works with her on her initial document, finishes reviewing her proofs of harassment, and agrees with her claims. January ? Selen's lawyer prepares a set of documents with her claims against Nijisanji and submits them to the company to hold them legally responsible. Selen also insists she intends to release a statement regarding her claims to the public if negotiations do not progress. This part gets a little bit fuzzy because I don't believe she was going to do that, but okay. Anyways, let's continue. So, January ? Nijisanji's legal team proceeds to verify the validity of Selen's claims, sharing that this set of documents with her claims with relevant livers, which was not supposed to happen. It was just supposed to be with a lawyer to lawyer thing, but okay. January 26th, Selen tries to leave Nijisanji on more neutral terms. January, February, Nijisanji's legal team finishes the investigation and concludes that her claims refer to situations that arose from the warnings about breaches of activity rules and her attempts to shift responsibility for these violations and don't consider her claims valid. Ugh. That's gross. That's stupid. All right. February 5th. Selen's lawyer sends Selen's initial document to Nijisanji under a confidentiality agreement shareable only with the legal team. After a week without negotiation talks or a meeting to discuss her request to part. February 5th. Selen is terminated from Nijisanji less than 2 hours after sending the confidential document without prior notice. She tweets 3 minutes later denouncing bullying and toxic environment over months and making public her hospitalization and attempt. This answer was prepared in advance with her lawyer, and she was only aware of the termination due to a friend messaging her. Ugh, that's so gross. So gross. Oh my god. Ridiculous. Okay. February 7th. Selen reincarnates as Dokibird and expands on the circumstances regarding to her hospitalization and moments prior to her termination. February 12th. Both Alira, say like I'm pronouncing it right, guys. Alira and Dokibird's streams happen while the other is ongoing within a few minutes of delay. Alira, Vox, and Ike proceed to discuss about the set of documents shown to them when Nijisanji's team was conducting an internal investigation. Dokibird says that the three were shown in the document under confidentiality while their stream is ongoing. Alira mentions these documents with Selen's claims were received over the past month. Alira mentions that these documents had harmful claims about personal information of some livers, and she considers those claims to be untrue. Vox mentions that he thoroughly reviewed these documents and considers these claims to be untrue. According to him, the document states that Selen recorded him in secret about a year ago. It uses the recording as proof of favoritism inside Nijisanji and shows him that Selen had been recording him in secret for almost a year. Ike reiterates Alira's words about the nature of the claims and says that he feels the public deserves to be aware of the existence of these documents and some of its contents. February 13th. Dokibird tweets that her only diagnosis and the reason for hospitalization was disclosed, but none of the info should have been revealed to anyone other than legal. Agreed. Yes. February 13th, Nijisanji releases a statement that the document under confidentiality wasn't shown to any livers, explains that the documents they saw were ones used during the internal investigation about Selen's claims, and that the documents with their claims are not under confidentiality regarding sharing it with their livers. February 14th, Dokibird elaborates on the making of the document under confidentiality. It was originally meant to be seen by her lawyer only, not intended to be used for legal claims, and submitted to Nijisanji on February 5th under a confidentiality agreement. She also discloses she had attempted a second time a few weeks after the first attempt, and that only her family and therapists were aware of it. That's very sad. Doki mentions that the document under confidentiality has no addresses or specific locations outside of her personal information. Dokibird mentions that there was only one recording intended for a distribution test, and she did not make any other recordings with anyone. Right, I remember this, yeah. Analysis. 2 sets of documents. There are mentions of 2 sets of documents existing. One sent during January with Selen's legal claims against Nijisanji, and one sent on February 5th under confidential agreement. The former is a central topic within Nijisanji's sources, while the latter is central within Selen's statements starting for her February 12th stream. Documents sent during January with Selen's legal claims. January documents. Okay. All right. So there's 2. Okay, so the first set of documents is related to the negotiation over Selen's claims. The termination note mentions the existence of negotiations with her claims in Selen Tatsuki insisted that if negotiations did not progress. In Selen's February 14th tweet mentions that negotiations happened, we had not heard from them for a week, or any negotiation talks given a meeting to discuss after my request to part. With the negotiation talks worded to be separate from what alludes to her request to leave first, but on more mutual terms on the 26th of January, these negotiations were started to have been happening at least since a week before February 5th. So the context stated in the termination note is in January. Oh my God, this is getting very like detective, like Sherlock Holmes vibes. Okay, anyways, let's continue. Moreover, Alira mentioned in her stream that over the past month, staff received documents from Selen's lawyers containing examples of her claimed experiences under any color. And Nijisanji's response on February 19th further elaborates that the documents seen by the livers are specific to Selen's claims stated in the termination note, as mentioned that the stream in and the notice published by Any Color. The lawyer claimed that the livers affiliated with Any Color were involved, and that they hold Any Color legally responsible. In order to check the validity of Selen and her lawyer's claims, Any Color shared the only necessary parts of the information sent by her lawyer with their livers and led an internal investigation. And therefore, tied to these negotiations, this is Alira's statement in the context of the documents during January. I don't understand why this part's important. Like, this is all stuff we already kind of know. But okay. Nijisanji directly states that these documents were not under confidentiality. Okay, so we mentioned that. Okay. It seems to be the case. Either Selen's claims wouldn't be mentioned in the termination note if the documents with her claims were confidential, or Selen would have denounced the confidentiality breach a week earlier, pointing out the claims in termination notice. Selen's statements don't indicate that other document other than the one sent on February 5th was confidential either. And Nijisanji mentions in their February 13th response that Selen's lawyer only requested confidentiality for specific information and documents, not for all of them. And this is, okay. So I guess anything in italics is something that is already kind of referenced. Okay. The January documents had some of their contents described during Alira's stream, stating that Selen had not only presented her claims, but also that she possesses personal information of other livers that she was not expected to have. According to Alira, these documents included personal information from the livers and poses a safety risk. Right, that she mentioned. Okay. and one section of the document alludes to where Millie and I live. She also states that there are also harmful claims Selen made in the document about some livers' personal information, meaning that some of Selen's claims revolved around personal information of Nijisanji livers rather than adding those as complementary information for procedural reasons. Okay. Oh, mama. Okay. Other contents in the January document are Selen's accusations of being bullied and harassed, which Vox states as being framed around the disagreements with management and how other livers approached her in regards to her subsequent public statements. Myself and other livers decided to approach Selen and ask her about her handling of the latest situation, which was her cover being made private. So some livers, myself included, asked Selen why she tweeted about the cover in the way that she did, expressing that we felt it was unnecessary and harmful. According to Selen's lawyer, it is this event that they claim to be the buildup of and what they claim to be a buildup of past experiences that led to the accusations made by Selen that she was being bullied and harassed. Last, Vox mentions that in these documents, it stated Selen had secretly recorded me in a private voice call without my knowledge or consent. And based on this document, Selen had wanted to use this as proof of showing favoritism with members of others. Vox also mentions that not only recorded me in secret, but also these recordings were held without my knowledge for almost an entire year. But he doesn't specify if the document showed multiple recordings were held, or if he concluded that Selen would keep recording him since he was the one previously mentioned. Selen has not made any direct statements about the set of documents, neither acknowledging nor denying their existence. Okay. Oh, mama. Okay. Let's see here. 1 second. Document under confidentiality sent on February 5th. This document is first mentioned by Selen during her February 12th stream. There was a signed document. There was a signed legal consent between me and the management that was just going to be between me, my lawyer, and management. She later stated this document was meant to document my thoughts and history with evidence so that my lawyer can see the general picture of what was going on and if there were issues that should be addressed. And she made the document thinking it was never going to be public to anyone but my lawyer. This means this document was not intended to be used for legal claims and likely served as a sketch for future documents and actions. Selen also stated that this document contains her personal and medical information because that document also has private information regarding me, my medical history, and my medical documents and everything that me and my lawyer and other people were involved with it and was all signed and agreed upon. This document is stated to not contain other addresses or specific locations mentioned, which indirectly refers to Alira's statement alludes to where Millie and I live. Selen also mentions about recording in the same tweet stating it was not intended to be anything other than a distributional test for planning of a collaborative event between two people, that I never recorded any other conversations with anyone, and that the recording was never shown anywhere, even in a legal setting, and there are no other records. Note, though, that her wording doesn't directly link to this recording to a particular document. It is implied that it is on this document. Selen also states about the recording, however, I regret that it was mentioned, and I'm sorry to all parties that were affected for the misunderstanding in this, indicating she considers Vox's points about secret recordings almost an entire year to be a fruit of misunderstanding. Okay. This document was not used for legal claims. As stated by Selen, and my lawyer discussed it and said it was the best to show the document. I wrote to the other lawyer as we have not heard from them in a week for any negotiation talks or given a meeting discussed after my request to part. It was never intended to be used for anything else. I asked my lawyer to convey that. So while it was stated to contain history with evidence, the evidence present in it would not have been listed or used as her claims against Nijisanji in this particular document. Nijisanji acknowledges that this confidential document exists, but denies that it is among the documents they covered during Alira's stream regarding any specific information, documents which Selen's lawyer requested. We do not share with our livers. Utmost consideration of this request. Any color is not shared any such information. Okay. Here we have conflicting narratives. Which set of documents was discussed in Alira's stream? Okay, so here is okay, this is where it gets good. The conflict of narrative emerges on February 12th during Alira's stream. While Nijisanji sources state that the document discussed by Alira, Vox, and Ike refer to the set of documents sent over in January, Selen brings up that they have seen the confidential document sent on February 5th instead. Okay. Nijisanji stated, as mentioned in that stream and in the notice published by Any Color Inc., notice termination of Selen Tatsuki's contract with Any Color, Selen and her lawyer claimed that libraries affiliated with Any Color were involved and that they will hold Any Color legally responsible. As well as, in order to check the validity of Selen and her lawyer's claim, Any Color Inc. shared only necessary parts of the information sent by her lawyer with our libraries that led to an internal investigation. In the February 13th response, linking the documents discussed by Illyria and other negotiations of her legal claims mentioned in the termination note. The first time Selen mentions that Illyria and others saw the confidential document is during her Neopet stream. Regarding a document, there was a signed doc, and there was signed legal consent between me and the management that was just going to be between me, my lawyer, and management. But the fact that they released it to the others is considered illegal because that was not supposed to be seen by anyone else. It was signed by me, my lawyer, and other lawyers. Selen also talks about the confidential document in her follow-up tweets, with her February 14th tweet stating, although it was a document filled with my personal information, as well as privacy information that should not be public, there were no other addresses or specific locations mentioned, indirectly referring to Illyria's statement that the documents alludes to where Millie and I live. Okay. Like, I don't know. This is just like, I don't know. A lot of this document is just stating the obvious. I don't know. I'm not sure what the point of this document is, but we're going to keep going, guys. One attempt to conciliate. Oh, what is this word? Conciliate? What is this big word? Get out of here.
Conciliate.
Conciliate. To stop someone from being angry or discontented. Okay. All right. Let's conciliate. One attempt to conciliate both narratives, at least initially, is to assume that Nijisanji was using only the January document and Selen just made a mistake during her Neopet stream. The idea is that since she had not actually seen Illyria's stream yet, she would have jumped to conclusions. However, this doesn't explain why she would still refer to the confidential document on February 13th. It was requested that none of this info should be revealed to anyone other than legal. And the 14th, have communication with the document as written wasn't going to be released anywhere, and my lawyer did so when sending the document. Another attempt to conciliate both narratives would be to assume both sets of documents were used by Illyria and others, but Nijisanji's response openly denies that regarding specific information, which Selen's lawyer requested that we do not share with our libraries. Utmost consideration of this request. Any Color has not shared any such information. Overall, it seems impossible to conciliate their narratives. Okay. The scenario in which the January documents exist doesn't leave a clear reason for Selen to conclude that her confidential document was leaked. For that, she would need to find Illyria and others mentioning information that is not present in the January documents. This means accusations and evidence are not clues for that. The distinct information that Selen mentions of the confidential document are her personal and medical information. If Illyria and others discussed any of these that weren't already of prior or public knowledge, then we have an indication of a leak. And then it says, there are only two mentions of that. One where Illyria mentions Selen's hospitalization. Once she notified all of us regarding her hospitalization, we immediately reached out to her manager, to confirm her safety. And Vox mentioned briefly, her attempt on her life will never be something to be taken lightly. Both instances did not expand on the information that Selen had already made public on two separate instances, though. On her termination response tweet, on December, I was hospitalized for an attempt, and her return stream, I was in hospital for an attempt, and I provided medical documents of everything that happened to prove it. Furthermore, Illyria mentioned that Selen was notified everyone of her hospitalization. Once she notified us regarding the hospitalization, and Selen later stated everyone knew that I was in a hospital and the reason behind it a few days before I was discharged during her February 7th return stream. So it seems that Illyria and other libraries were already aware of those events from Selen herself and before the confidential document was sent to Nijisanji. If I did not find any other potential information that could only be known through confidential document. So far, Illyria, Vox, and Ike seem to have discussed only contents expected from the January documents. If this set of documents exists, then it is not clear why Selen would conclude that they had access to confidential okay, let me start the sentence again. If this set of documents exists, then it is not clear why Selen would conclude that they had access to the confidential document. So, either the set of documents from January doesn't exist, or Selen's accusation regarding the confidential document is false. We don't know either of those. It's confusing. What did you say here? Either it did or it didn't. Yes, that is very true. What is this? Okay. Anyways, let's continue. Not too much left, guys. There's not too much left on the scroll bar here. Just this much. Okay. We'll get through it. Okay. Extortion during negotiations. Okay. Wait. Extortion. Okay. Sorry, guys. Had to take another drink. Okay. Just so that we're all aware. Okay, the word extortion. Let's look it up. Extortion. Extortion. How do you spell it? How did they spell it again? Extortion? Hold on. I find it. 1 second. EXTORTION. 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 Extortion, the practice of obtaining something, especially money, through force or threats. Oh man. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's like force or threats. Like, okay. That's so let's take that into account when we read this, okay? Okay. Extortion during negotiations. The negotiation over Selen's claims did not seem to occur under normal circumstances. I'm sorry, guys. Is there anything normal about Nijisanji and what they do at this point? I don't think so. Let's see here. Okay. Extortion during negotiations. The negotiations over Selen's claims did not seem to occur under normal circumstances. There is a worrisome statement in the termination note. Selen Tatsuki insisted that if negotiations did not progress, she would proceed to release a statement regarding her claims to the public. As worded, Selen's actions constitute extortion. And from what I can gather, fall as such under the criminal code of both Canada and Japan. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Respectfully, I don't agree. But okay, let's continue. As reference that this would indeed be seen as a case of extortion in a court of law, there is an example. Anal goodness. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Let me look up anal goodness.
Analogous.
Oh my god, it's analogous. Oh no, it's analogous. Guys, wow.
Analogous.
Analogous. What's analogous? Comparable in certain respects, typically in a way which makes clearer the nature of things compared. Okay. What? Okay. Analogous. There's an example of analogous to Selen's case from an American criminal defense law firm, Grimm's and Warwick. So essentially, Selen was just expressing that she was being bullied, but apparently this was extortion. Okay. Oh my goodness, Kieran, thank you so much for the super chat. Legal mindset would tear this guy apart. Oh my goodness. NDF, which is the Nijisanji Defense Force. NDF harass innocent fans, artists, Hololive fans, and Holo memes. Defend racist guys like Yuki. Oh, sorry, defend racist guys like Yuki. Then have the audacity to claim not only they are angels, but they are right. Oh no. Oh goodness. Oh no. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let's continue. Okay. Apparently there's an American case from Grimm's and Warwick. It has posted one of their articles, The Accidental Extortionist, When Negotiations Become Extortion. Link here, which elaborates on the risk of extortion during negotiation. The example in question is quoted below. For example, In one case we handled, a litigant in a business dispute sent an email informing Mr. X, the opposing party, that if Mr. X did not agree to a proposed settlement of the litigation by a given date, a list of Mr. X's sexual peccadillos. What the hell's a peccadillo? That sounds like an appetizer. What's a peccadillo?
Peccadillo.
Oh, peccadillo. A small, relative, unimportant offense or sin. Okay, it's a peccadillo. Guys, we're learning so much today. Okay, a list of Mr. X's sexual peccadillos would be distributed to his neighbors and his wife? What the heck? That was a clear-cut case of extortion, and the writer of the email was prosecuted. That is very different than, that's a Mr. Armstrong stretch there, but okay. What? The possibility of extortion has massive implications. The first of them is that the scenario reframes Illyra's stream. The public has so far taken her expression of fear. I felt threatened and scared of speaking out about the situation because of the risk that it could pose not only on my safety, but the safety of those around me as well. We learned that there is a potential that this information could be made public. Some of the information poses a risk to our personal safety and puts some of us at risk of doxing. As unreasonable as they thought it was about documents being sent to court and publicized as well. We now have to consider that her fear may come from being a victim of extortion? Okay. I'm very confused. So Selen was the bad guy. She was out here extorting the poor billionaire. Wow. This is the mental gymnastics behind this is Cirque du Soleil level. Okay, let's continue. Wow. Okay. Moreover, people have wondered why the Livers did a PR stream if Tazumi was already going to do a PR announcement later on, making Illyra's stream redundant. In the extortion scenario, her stream has a very different purpose from Tazumi's pronouncement. Instead of being a regular PR attempt, the stream is instead one where victims of extortion speak out about their experience. Additionally, we've been told that there is also a video regarding the situation from Tazumi-san directly a few hours following the stream. But what we say on the stream is our own words and our own feelings. And defend from Selen having carried out her threat. Oh, man, Selen's so mean, eh? Wow, okay. Illyra's stream as a whole makes more sense in this scenario. Man, Niji can do no wrong, guys. I mean, like, they're just the poor guys are being extorted. The contents of the stream mix their take on Selen's claims of bullying and how hurt and terrified the Livers were when seeing the documents, which seemed unrelated at first. A defense from legal claims would need frequent mentions of the latter. In fact, many have interpreted this mix as either slander or manipulation. In the context of extortion, however, intimidation is at the center of what they experienced, and Selen... They're making Selen out to be this, like, mafioso, like, extortionist. Okay. And Selen followed it up with a threatened accusation of bullying. As such, both topics are expected to be presented together. The context of extortion ties both topics coherently. It also explains why Illyra opens the stream emphasizing the emotional and personal aspect of the situation. Due to how sensitive the situation is, both we, the Livers, and the company have been affected deeply, or is based solely on our personal experiences. What we say in the stream is our own words and our own feelings. Okay. I'm a guest, but okay, let's keep going. Maybe there's going to be more big words we have to look up. This scenario also clarifies something particular in the termination of affiliation contract session and the termination note. The first 4 paragraphs have a quick change in position. The first paragraph says, we express to Selen Tatsuki our expectations for future compliance with the activity rules from here on. indicating that they initially wanted to continue working with her, while the fourth paragraph was threat to the ongoing activities of other affiliated livers, for her termination was unavoidable. Between this drastic escalation, we have the second paragraph stating Selen extorted Nijisanji when demanding to hold them legally responsible. And the third paragraph disagreeing with Selen's claims, meaning the negotiations would not progress from Nijisanji's end on free will. These points to Nijisanji abruptly terminating Selen, mainly due to her extorting them, as well as due to the danger that she consequently represented to their other livers, rather than for any other reason conceived so far. Yeah, this is no reason other than her trying to extort them. Oh my god. Another implication is that the scenario puts Selen's intentions into question. For instance, Selen had stated on February 7th the reason her return... Selen had stated in her February 7 return stream that I had to respond with the truth when it went out, and that I'm still me and they can never really take that away. However, extortion involves using information, whether true or false, as a weapon, and being in a position of power and control over the other party instead. In this scenario, Selen's primary intention with her statement of bullying would not be to expose a wrongdoing, but to punish Nijisanji for resisting her attempts at intimidation and for not acquiescing her demands. Yes, we're going to look up acquiescing.
Acquiesce.
Acquiesce. To accept or something reluctantly, but without protest. Okay. I see here. So bullying is intimidation, guys. Like, what the heck? Okay. More severe in this scenario, though, is the intent behind Selen bringing up the confidential document and framing Alira's stream under the context of leaking this document. The extortion scenario involves the negotiation of Selen's claims, with these happenings during January. Hence, the documents that Alira and others saw would have been the January documents, not the ones Selen sent on February 5th. And as explored in the conflicting narratives, which set documents was discussed in Alira's stream subsection, Selen would not have a clear reason to conclude that Alira's stream covered the confidential document instead of the January documents. This leaves a void on what her intent is when insisting on confidential document. One concerning possibility in this scenario is of Selen wanting to deny Alira and the others from having their experience of being extorted heard, and accomplishing that by distracting the public towards a subject unrelated to the negotiations, aka a supposed leak of the confidential information. This would make sense, as attention towards the negotiation carries the risk of someone realizing that Nijisanji called her extortion in the termination note, which she wants to hide. If she actually brought up the confidential document with this intent, then her action incriminates herself on other ends, and this omission/altering of context matches the pattern that Vox described during Alira's stream. The screenshots regarding Selen's tweet after the privatization of her music video, that this pattern of events happened before multiple occasions. And Vox's previous experience of being in solidarity with her, stating, because I trust her so much and listened to her narrative of half or untruths about her relationship with any color, this caused me much anger on her behalf, and I had considered graduating with her in solidarity. Seriously. And now I know that my intense feelings at the time came from omitted context and falsehoods. Okay. Another implication is on legal matters, as extortion is a serious criminal offense. Selen would be prosecuted by a state instead of dealing with the lawsuit between her and Nijisanji, and the nature of the charge changes a lot of the legal specifics, such as anonymity and penalties. These specifics are beyond the scope of this analysis, which focus on the statements between Selen and Nijisanji. I suggest looking for the details on this legal matter elsewhere. You know, it's a great place to look for legal matters, legal mindset. Go check him out. Okay, excellent. Likelihood of the described scenario. The likelihood that Selen extorted Nijisanji is high. Oh no, man. Selen's so evil with her extortion. I don't understand how, like, I don't understand how they could have possibly come to this conclusion. I'm kind of blown away, to be quite honest with you. But okay, anyways, poor Nijisanji apparently is getting extorted. Okay. Nijisanji correctly predicted that Selen would follow up with a public statement with the claims listed in the termination note. She claimed that she was no longer able to engage in her activities as a liver due to decisions made by any color, was being harassed by other affiliate livers due to mismanagement, etc. She would proceed to release a statement regarding her claims to the public. Bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment. This means that they were warned in advance of that the course of action, and there's no clear alternative source for this warning other than Selen and her lawyer. Moreover, Selen later stated during her February 7th restream that I had a statement made in advance, which my lawyer helped edit in case this did happen. And I wouldn't have made the statement if the announcement didn't go up the way it did. Established that her action was both premeditated and conditional. These factors are important for a threat to constitute extortion, which were also predicted by Nijisanji. What the heck? Okay. Let's keep reading. Okay. We're almost done, guys. We're almost at the end. These two factors constitute circumstantial proof for the extortion scenario. A scenario that assumes Nijisanji lied and made up about the extortion has to offer an alternative explanation. alternative explanation for how then Nijisanji knew that Selen had a conditional public statement planned in advance and what the contents were going to be that doesn't involve Selen and her lawyer stating the threat. The primary sources don't offer an alternative explanation for that. The testimonies given on Alira's stream reinforce the extortion scenario. As explored in the extortion during negotiation subsection, Alira's stream makes far more sense in the extortion context than the regular PR stream context taken by the public at large, indicating that the latter is missing some vital information. Fear is also explicitly expressed in the two streamers. Okay, so really quickly, do you think fear may have been expressed because they're like, oh no, we got caught? Like, oh no, this is not going well? Oh my goodness, Criminal Imagination, thanks so much for the super chat. If Doki had the power to extort a black company, I'd have infinite respect. Yeah, me too, man. Jeez. Jesus. If you can extort a billionaire out of money, man, that's some superpower. Seriously. What the heck? Okay, sorry guys, fear. Let's talk about fear. Fear is also explicitly expressed by two of the streamers. I felt threatened and scared of speaking out about the situation because of the risk that it could pose not only to my own safety, but the safety of those around me as well. Private information that is terrifying to have being, shown before you like that, which is not an expected emotion in a regular negotiation and points that something was eerily unusual about the circumstances. Is an indication of potential extortion as far as testimony goes. Yeah, it's eerily unusual because that the bullying was so severe that happened. Yeah, that's okay. All right, guys, we're on the final remarks. We're on our final remarks. You guys ready? Let's go. Final remarks. Thank you for reading this far. This is a work I've done over multiple days, revisions, and considerable amount of thought. Why spend so much time around this subject? Because I needed to organize what I knew of the presented events to properly understand their implications, and I couldn't trust that others would be able to pay attention to the primary sources beyond a surface level, even if that. Merely Alira saying that the documents were received over the past month, while Selen states that the document was sent out on February 5th, should have been enough to spark a serious discussion on whether they were even talking about the same document. Okay, all right, we got some Sherlock Holmes vibes. Let's keep going. All right, the point about extortion or blackmail. Blackmail! Okay, all right. So you guys just okay, just okay. Define blackmail. Blackmail, the action treating as a criminal offense of demanding payment and other benefits from someone in return for not revealing or compromising damaging information about them. Demanding money or another benefit from someone in return to not reveal. Okay. I'm trying to blackmail him for $40,000. Okay. All right. Okay, let's keep going, friends. Let's try to get through to the end, friends. Okay. Wow. The point about extortion or blackmail, depending on the state in question, came as a surprise. It was definitely not what I was expecting to come across when I started this. I mean, okay. It took a while to realize that this particular line in the termination note was a case of extortion and look for the legal aspects of that. It seems that most developed countries place extortion and blackmail as among the most serious crimes in their statutory. What is this word?
Stature.
Stature. A person's height or importance and reputation gained by ability or achievement. Okay. Thank you. Stature. From what I read, it falls as a felony, the most serious category of crime on most American states. Canada seems to take it even more harshly, being an indictable offense, roughly their equivalent of a felony, with life imprisonment as the maximum penalty. None of this paint a good image for Selen in that scenario. Doki behind bars. More news at 11. Oh my god, what the hell is this? What is... okay, all right. Guys, we're gonna finish. This theory on its morality isn't pretty either. Restriction of freedom of choice, potential to ruin someone's life, mental distress that can persist for many years after the threat. Usupupertitin. What the hell is this word? Usupapitin. Reciprocator.
Usurpation.
Usurpation. That sounds French, bro. I don't know. That's like, what?
Usurpation.
Translate to English. Okay, what is this song? What is this word?
Usurpation.
Apparently it's usurpation. Means the act of taking control of something without having the right to, especially in a position of power. You're telling me that Dokibird is gonna is gonna blackmail this entire company. Man, she's powerful, guys. Wow. Like, sure, your key is over 9,000, friends. Okay. Okay. So let's now that we know. Okay. The theory on its own morality isn't pretty either. Restriction of freedom of choice, potential to ruin someone's life, mental distress that can persist for many years after a threat, usurpation of one's discretionary authority, discretion for one's free will, and analogies with theft and fraud. It's no surprise then that extortion laws in developed countries tend to be especially harsh. UK courts have described it as an attempted murder of the soul and one of the most serious and vicious offenses in the criminal calendar. Oh man, there's a criminal calendar? Can you tell me when Crime Christmas is? What? Oh my god. What does this all mean? Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's hope that these last two sentences drives it home. Okay. At the end, the conclusions lean towards Selen extorting Nijisanji and trying to hide it from the public. Her mentions of the confidential document, in particular, have indications of being a trickery, possibly meant to deny her extortion victims from being heard. She just wanted to let people know that she was being bullied. So isn't that extortion from her being heard? Like, okay, we're gonna continue. If this scenario indeed proves to be true, then the reaction of the EN community at large has been completely misguided and messed up, to put it mildly. As of the moment I am writing this, I have not seen this scenario discussed among English speakers. I hope that the perspectives I added here have been insightful to you and made you re-examine your approach to this whole situation, whichever your position has been during this drama. So this was originally published on February 29th, 2024, and was edited on March 26, 2024. So this document has been in the works for some time and has been taken down. So, yeah. Someone in chat saying, "Move over, Al Capone." What? I'm sorry. Wow. Guys, my brain has gone for a coffee break and has not returned. Okay, so essentially TLDR, Dokibird's trying to extort Nijisanji, the poor billionaire. Oh goodness. Oh man, this is yeah, wow. I feel like dumber for reading this. Is this some crazy like fan fiction? Like, is this real? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, I what the hell? What did I just read? Guys, okay. Did ChatGPT write this? Oh my god. Right? Honestly. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, look at this. We learned a lot of new words today, guys. TLDR, maybe just use simple English would be great. Mr. or Mrs. whoever wrote this. What? Okay, what? Thanks so much for watching the video. Shout out to my patrons that help make these videos possible. If you want to help support the channel, you can always join my Patreon, subscribe to me on Twitch, or become a member on YouTube. I also have links to merch in the description below. As always, I appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!